What is going on, everybody? We are here to react to the 2023 Australian Grand Prix, which is an absolutely nuts race today. Um, I am just sending Joe the link to join the live stream, and we will be up and running in just a split second here. But what an insane race, man. Absolutely insane race. Let's get a little bit of music going on. There we go. There we go. What up, Crispy? How you doing? Welcome. Nice to see you, my brother. We are just waiting for Joe to join the stream right now. And we will start chatting about what an insane race that just was. What's going on, LCat? How you doing, brother? Is everybody still awake? Like, man, that if that didn't have you on the edge of your seat, I don't know what will. And that was a very unexpected result today. Completely unexpected result for the race. I was predicting something very different, but I'd like to hear from you guys what you thought. So definitely drop your thoughts in the comments, or in the chat. I will see them. But congratulations are in order. Verstappen raced a good race, no doubt. And here we go. Here's my compatriot, my homie, Joe.
Love. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me clearly?
Loud and clear, my dude.
So dark. Hold on. I'm trying to fix.
I mean, if you want to get moody, I can get moody too.
Hey, I'm not complaining. Do you guys like my new look?
Yeah, that's I like it. I think it looks good.
I need some light here.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah.
But man, that was crazy. Absolutely crazy race.
Just for you guys, literally we were just watching the race a few minutes ago, live.
Yeah.
And we are here 12:51 at night for us.
Dude, yeah, exactly. 12:51. I expected us to be like halfway or 3/4 of the way through the live stream at this point.
Yeah,
but with so many red flags and
dramas.
Yeah. Dude, I started to lose count of all of the crazy things that happened in this race.
Yeah. But it's what we expected. That's for sure. It's not what we expected at all.
No, exactly. I did not expect it to go as crazy as it did.
Yeah.
If I'm completely honest with you guys.
Yeah. And I did not expect Mercedes to perform.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question that of course, Red Bull did their thing.
Red Bull is in another planet. They're on Mars.
yeah, very true. There's no question.
The rest
about
of
it.
us, the rest of the field is on Earth.
Right, exactly. But the thing that really kind of surprised me the most, if I'm completely honest, was just Mercedes was surprisingly surprisingly competitive today.
Yeah, and
You know,
I mean they surprised me yesterday as well from the quality.
Mhm.
What 2-3 for both George Russell and Hamilton.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was like, okay, they will keep on saying their car is slow. Of course, their car is really slow, but for some reason,
Yeah.
sometimes maybe because of the track, or maybe because of temperature, or the
no,
degradation.
that's a fair point.
Yeah, or like high altitude, low altitude on the locations, that will change the performance of the car a little bit.
Yeah, sorry guys for the background noise. I'm just moving some papers. No, it was definitely a surprise. I mean, Joe and I were theorizing, in particular with George Russell's engine failure
Yeah.
that he had,
Yeah.
that Mercedes very well might have turned up the wick on the engine a little bit.
For sure.
You know,
I mean, from the look of it, they were not as fast. They were not that fast in Jeddah.
no,
And from the look of today and yesterday, the fact that they can get their car into P2 and P3, it's amazing to see. And that just means they might turn up the engine power for certain situation.
and that's really what we were theorizing, right? That, like, okay, the whole package is nowhere near resolved enough to be at the same level as Red Bull. Okay,
Right.
acknowledged. You know, not gonna happen. But for them to be competitive with the likes of Aston Martin, and to even be ahead of Ferrari,
Yeah.
that was a surprise, right? Like, on
was a
any
real
other
surprise.
given Sunday, they would have been behind Ferrari and behind Aston Martin.
Yeah.
You know, based on how their performance has been thus far in the season.
Yeah.
You know,
And we heard a rumor last season during the winter break. They say they have found some pace on that engine, and maybe that's where the proof is, because I did not see that coming. I mean, I did not see. Both of us did not see that coming for today.
no, not at all. Not even in quali. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But the thing is, in quali, there's a point where Hamilton take P1.
Mm-hmm.
So from that glimpse of it, you can see the car's performance is actually not too bad. I wouldn't say good. I wouldn't say like really good, but it's not too bad.
Yeah. So I don't know how this is going to bode for the rest of the season, but it definitely gives those of us who have some affinity, you know, for the Mercedes team. It gives us a little bit of hope that they may not be in contention for the championship, but they won't be a midfield team.
Yeah.
You know, which was really, after Jeddah, what we were expecting. We were like, okay, season's over. You know, Mercedes is not going to get above like 4 or 5. Like, even when Joe and I were watching the beginning of the race, right? And it was Hamilton in first, Verstappen in second, Alonso in third, and or even when it was sorry, not that order. When it was Russell in 1, Hamilton in 2, Verstappen in third, and then Alonso in fourth, I was like, oh, okay, you know, Hamilton's going to drop down to, you know, third position, and especially after the tire changed on the yellow flag, I said, okay, Russell's going to work his way up to like fourth or fifth. But then the first red flag came out, and all chaos began to ensue after that point.
It's actually recap on what exactly happened. Race, like lap. I mean, not lap by lap, but the whole race.
Oh God, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
but of course, first it's the star of the race was Max, Russell, Hamilton, Alonso.
Yeah,
and Russell actually get a really, really good start.
So this is something that Joe and I were talking about actually right from the start of the race, is that part of what separates Verstappen, from being a really good racer, from being a great racer, is, for example, he is very inconsistent in his starts.
Yeah.
Like incredibly inconsistent in his starts. And a lot of times he actually doesn't get a good start.
Yeah.
Now, without talking to the guy, that could be by design. You know, he may want to hunt and overtake, you know, because that could be a strategy for all I know, right?
Yeah, could be.
So I'll give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but from what I've seen, he is not a consistently good starter off of the line, you know, and that's been for the last 3 seasons now.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, unless he did that restart trick.
Right. You know, no, but realistically, even from the start, we saw Verstappen not have a very good start, which really allowed, you know, George to get out in first, and then Hamilton to even overtake him. You know, which
and it was, it was surprised to see Hamilton. Actually, Max was complaining on the radio, where he said Hamilton pushed him out, and immediately I told Sheriff, dude, this guy, man, he needs to just be quiet and just drive the car, because every single time when Hamilton is in front of him or Hamilton is around him, he will get his elbows and he will get his talk out on the radio. But whenever he's not, whenever somebody else is in, let's say Charles Leclerc or George Russell or even Alonso, it's in nearby him, in front of him, he will not have said anything.
Yeah, he always has to comment specifically on Hamilton.
Always. Yeah. It's so it gets really tired sometimes when you see it.
Well, it's predictable, you know, like you know what's gonna happen every time you see it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, and so that brings us up to, you know, George, Hamilton, Max, Alonso.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, Max is gonna cruise, bypass, no doubt. And then he even extend the lead up to 10 seconds.
Yeah, he did.
And George Russell he didn't get, you know, he got robbed by the strategy.
It was really unfortunate. Well, I mean, so the yellow flag was called, you know, and it was who was it that crashed? Albon. Albon crashed really hard.
Oh, that crash is so hard.
Yeah, it triggered the yellow flag, but I was telling Joe, I was like, dude, no, you could have predicted that would have been a red flag.
Red flag, yeah.
Just by the violence of that crash.
Yeah, and so he went into the pit to get
so they called George in.
A new medium or hard tire.
Hard tire.
And then that ultimately
turned into the red flag.
P7, yeah. And then the red flag.
Exactly. It screwed him.
So that's the first red flag. First red flag.
New made. We both, Joe and I, agree with this. He does. It's funny. Yeah. It's not that he always has a reckless style. It's that he has a bit of a reckless style when it comes to Hamilton.
Exactly.
Right? Because when he goes wheel to wheel versus Leclerc, Sainz, Alonso, etc., right? He never goes as hard or as recklessly as he does against specifically Hamilton. And if you look at his history of driving, he does this every single time. Especially it was bad in 2021. You know?
Every single race.
Almost. Yeah. But it's true. When he does have to race somebody really hard, that's when he makes the most amount of mistakes.
Yeah.
You know? And I agree, that it's when he feels threatened that he really, you can, and this is
Yeah,
again, for
yeah,
me, what separates him from being a great driver is that he doesn't have the composure not to hang it out on the ragged edge just to win, you know? And maybe that's the Jos Verstappen influence,
maybe.
that, oh, I gotta win at all costs, or daddy is gonna like beat me, you
He,
know.
his dad read his dad was mad. I remember seeing it on the TV.
Hmm.
His dad was mad when Checo wins the race.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what? What?
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with you. He is a sore winner, and that's exactly what Joe was just saying. Like, that's why it was covered so heavily in the news, that when he got second and came in second to Checo, he wasn't really celebrating his
Yeah,
teammate that
yeah,
much, and his father didn't even crack a smile,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, that's the nature of the
It's getting old.
Verstappens.
It's getting old.
Yeah,
Really, it's getting old.
yeah, yeah. No question, no question. You know, but yeah, back to the
Back to the
race.
race.
After they called the first, the red flag, it just it completely changed the future of the race.
And from we have 2 red flag or 3 red flag. I don't remember. I don't even remember.
3 total.
What's
3
the second
total.
one? Which one is the second one? I don't remember, man. I really don't remember. It's too much.
It was towards the end of the race. Shit.
Russell's car got
Yeah.
burned up, and then that's
Yeah.
the red flag. And of course, that's no. I think his dad is still there.
Yeah, I don't know. I know for
I don't know,
sure.
but I think his dad is still there. I think you were talking about what's his name? Nelson Piquet. Oh yeah,
I'm not entirely sure.
yeah, and K-Max. Yeah, you're right. And K-Max car, the tire got exploded
Blew up.
in
Yeah, that was the red flag.
yeah
not,
in the really
Russell.
weird way. The
Yeah,
wheel,
yeah,
the
yeah,
wheel,
yeah.
it's on the suspension, and then the rubber just got flying away.
Yeah.
And
I love this. That's freaking great. Emotional damage.
but yeah, man, like this race is the weirdest race
Yeah.
finish I have ever seen. I mean, of course, I know the reason why they do this, and I know why they wanted to do this because of 2021.
Mhm.
That's where everything got triggered.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
I know
absolutely.
they wanted to follow by the book and follow the rules. But again, it's so weird to see just we were talking about it like in the lap 58. We're like,
Yeah.
what's the reason of then get into the car, follow the safety car for 1 lap, and then just cruise to checker flag?
Exactly. It was like a formation lap just for show.
Yeah.
A parade lap.
Yeah.
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 That's all it was. But yeah, so after K-Mag's, red flag, then we had absolute and total carnage.
Yeah.
And like we saw both of the Alpines go out.
Yep.
We saw
Half of the grid.
yeah, half of the grid just like disintegrated. We
It's
saw
like-
Alonso get taken out.
Yeah,
by
but ultimately
Sainz.
he got reinstated.
He did,
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. Like, I don't feel that what Sainz did was intentional. So like, I kind of feel a little bit of sympathy for Sainz because the 5-second penalty took him out of the points. You know, but I get it. They're trying to adhere to the rules like as strongly as possible. But I think if you want my honest opinion, I think he got a little screwed there.
they
It
both of them
wasn't.
got screwed by FIA.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't think it was as bad as, for example, in the start, Leclerc basically like
Run
turning
into
right
Stroll.
in. Yeah, like that was a little bit more like borderline deliberate because there's no way that Stroll backed off enough. Like you just barely passed him. It's presumable that he was like half of a car length. Like come on. Yeah, dude. It's this entire race was just chaos.
Chaos. Chaos.
Chaos with a break in the middle with like little minor, chaos between K-Mag and Russell. And then, chaos in the beginning, chill. Things make it a little crazy.
Yeah.
Things make it a little crazy. And then chaos, like right at the
But you know what? To be honest with you, I really feel like 2021 should end like this. Like the situation today and by the book. I really feel that they should have. I'm going back to 2021 again. And they should have just red flag the car, the race in 2021, and then get everybody a fresh rubber, and then just let them race.
But that's presuming that Michael Massey doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we can't Thanos snap back to in time and get rid of him.
But if it end like this, if it had been like this, the championship would be different. Sure.
Oh yeah. 100. Well, there's no question.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like for me, it was. I don't know. It was such an interesting result for the end of the race.
It's an
like
interesting solution.
I predicted things turned out completely differently.
Yeah, me too.
I was watching, after the yellow flag, the first yellow flag before it turned into the red. Joe can attest. I was like, okay. We're going to see Verstappen overtake Hamilton. We're going to see Alonso even overtake Hamilton. Yeah. And, Hamilton will end up in third. Then it would be like Sainz.
Sainz and Russell, maybe.
Yeah, Sainz and then Russell. Because Russell would come up, from 7th place. But really, it's one of those things that is just all of the little minute dramas completely reshuffle things. And I don't know if you guys were, like all of you were here in the beginning, but Joe and I have been theorizing that Mercedes turned up the power on the engine, which led to Russell's, DNF today.
Get a charge and DNF.
Yeah. Because there's really, if you think about their performance in qualifying, as well as their ability to stay ahead of Aston Martin in particular, because like the reality is, if you look at Jeddah, even if you look at the race today, there was no time in any of the previous races, right, where Mercedes had any chance of being even within 10 seconds of Red Bull.
Today was the largest gap we have is 11 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then safety car comes in and then that brings back to 8 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It literally had to just be purely because the engine was turned up. Like,
And
there's no question about
the reason why we know the reason why we expect the engine to turn up is because the DNF of Russell, because
Right.
the fire of that car is from the engine, and the only way you can get, I mean, not the only way, but most of the way you can get fire in the engine is because it's working too hard, and ultimately it's overheating and like things break down.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like Joe said it best earlier in our conversation. Joe was saying they probably turned it up to 12 for qualifying, and then turned it back just a little bit to maintain like good race pace reliability.
It's like reliability, performance, and then they were like probably right here. So, and the other reason why I say that they have the engine turned up, it's because from qualifying yesterday, there's a glimpse. There's once Hamilton was on P1.
Yeah.
Or a sec. And I suspect the only reason why Hamilton is not on P1 after qualifying, after Q3, is because in the last lap he got traffic, and when you got traffic in front of you, you cannot have the momentum to push the car.
Right.
So,
but I mean, admittedly, Mercedes is still off of the race pace of Red Bull, but at least we know that they have the ability to close the gap a little bit, even with the current setup, which, truth be told, man, after Jeddah, like I
give up.
I wrote the entire season.
Yeah, I give up hope.
Yeah, completely and totally.
Like we were saying, like it's not easy to change a car. It's not like changing a new side pod, change a car. No, you have to change a whole car to change the car.
Yeah, literally everything from the front splitter to potentially the nose, the entire floor changes,
even the seating position. Hamilton was talking about earlier on the news. He was complaining about the seating position of the car. He said the car feels like he's sitting on top of the wheel, the front wheel.
Yeah,
which is really bad.
To
drive.
Yeah.
So, but we will not see any upgrade anytime soon, though. Like, it's not going to be like Azerbaijan, or it's not going to be the next race. It's probably gonna be within the next 5 races. Then they will bring in up.
The question is really like whose heads are going to roll for this, I know Toto Wolff tries to be, very like fair and kind to his staff, but come on, man. Like to essentially throw 2 potential seasons away, and to nuclear bomb Hamilton's chances at getting an 8th title, feels like somebody needs to take some degree of responsibility for it, So,
what's interest? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
When is Imola? By the way, when is the race? Let me actually check.
Yeah. Not soon enough. How about that?
let me check. But yeah, what do you think about one of those Hamilton and Russell's complaint on the radio about Hamilton?
I mean, I don't think he was. I think he was. I don't know if he was complaining, but I think he was looking for some degree of clarification, right? Like, it was very clear that Hamilton was gaining on him,
and he has DRS.
Right, and he had the potential to maintain a faster race pace than George. So the question is George capable of being a good number 2? And that's what I, on some level, really wanted to see, was whether or not George could block for Hamilton, or
I
vice
don't.
versa? Could they play as a team?
To be honest with you, though, I don't see George doing that anytime soon.
Which is unfortunate because that, like, after all the sacrifices that Hamilton made to further the development of the car last season, I really do feel that, on some level as a teammate, George owes him some degree of support, for no other reason, that, okay, you were new last season, you don't have the experience needed to give feedback on this platform. I'm going to sit there and take a lot of abuse and, give up any chances of even podiuming.
Just to help you out, just to help the team out.
Yeah, just so you get settled and the team can progress this screwed up concept, and I don't know. I feel that on some level George owes him.
I'm with you. Like, just last season, we all know last season Hamilton was driving experimental setup cars.
Yeah.
Russell was driving more conventional setup.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lewis would have caught him. There's no question in my mind.
I mean, like, to be honest, like throughout the whole weekend, I feel like Hamilton has more pace on race pace on him.
Yeah. No question. And see, this is the problem, man. I agree with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten my fair share of hate for saying it on this channel, but I'm not been impressed with George.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really not. Like, he doesn't feel like he's a part of the team. It feels like he wants to be out for it just for himself, and he's very narcissistic and egocentric in that way. Like, he wants to be the next great white hope for Mercedes, and it's like, dude, that's kind of not how Mercedes runs their team. It's about, like, the team, so I agree with you, as a test kids. By the way, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream, my homie. Just for all of you guys who don't know, I know some of the people in the chat here. So, ATK, we love you. But we agree, yeah.
Yeah, I want 100%. Them to race 100%.
Yeah.
It's really hard to see them slow down just to manage the tires.
Right, exactly. And I mean, at some point that does have to happen for like the longer stints, but there's no reason that Hamilton should have to back off of Russell, personally. That's just my view, And all the props agree to Hamilton. He did a really great drive today.
And he hold up Alonso for majority of the race.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And case in point, man, Lewis that's the thing, man. I'm so sick and tired of people always wanting to kind of comment on him, and say that he doesn't have it.
Exactly.
Like,
we've
dude,
seen this so many times last season.
He is a 7-time, deserving of an 8th-time world champion, right? Like, to say that the guy doesn't have it, like, first of all, as much as I love Alonso, you only have 2, all right? So chill out a little bit, right? And that's coming from a person who loves Alonso. That's me.
And don't forget, Hamilton's first championship, it's with McLaren while Alonso is in the team.
Right. And Russell, who doesn't even have, even anything resembling close to a world championship, making little comments out the side of his mouth, settle down, Junior. All right,
chill.
right. Take this chance to learn from one of the
greatest.
greatest drivers in modern history.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like.
And I'm just so tired of seeing people saying, "Oh, it's the car. It's the car." Of course, it's the car, but the driver has to drive the car, and the driver needs to manage in the car to extract 110% performance out of the car. Can a normal people do that?
Exactly.
You
know.
Yeah. No, Hamilton's tire management. He has good record on like managing the tire. If you guys remember,
he's crazy.
If you guys remember last 2021 when he drive the car while the tire exploded in Silverstone, and then Max was 9 seconds behind him. He hold off almost. He finished to the checker flag with 3 tires.
Yeah.
So that was the highlight of that year. No, it's 2020. No, 2020. Was it 2020? 2021 or 2020? But either or, he's really good at managing the tires.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like that sums it up really, really well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like, I don't mind a little bit of the psychological jabbing from people like Alonso and whatever. That doesn't bother me too much. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, for people to count Hamilton out, you know, is insane to me, right? It's not like, okay, he has a shit setup for 2 seasons and all of a sudden he loses all of the skill that he's had for the last, you know, like decade of his life. You know what I mean?
It's not like he forgot how to drive.
Right.
All of a sudden, it through one winter break.
Right. Exactly. Like, a comparable thing would be to like think about like the most amazing guitarist ever in history, right? Or musician in history. Oh, they take 1 or 2 years off. Do they suddenly forget how to play their instrument? Like, like, come on. They may be a little rusty in the very beginning, but all of that talent is going to come right back. Like, come on, guys, you know? And we see it just like Ron Green was saying earlier. It was a mega drive today by Hamilton, you know?
It was surprisingly that the Mercedes car has that performance, and of course Hamilton has to handle that performance very well.
Yeah.
In order to hold on Alonso and then keep the gap in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Max.
And especially for a car that he's not comfortable and he's not happy with.
He's not. He said he is not connected to the car. It's like
right.
The car is not part of him.
Yeah, man. So it's, I don't know. It's very interesting.
We have going back to the Formula One schedule. We have Imola on May 19th, so which is
essentially 2 months or a little over like a month and a half away. You know.
We have Azerbaijan coming up next, which is April 28th. So it's gonna be a long wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Hamilton. For me, like, to be honest, driver of the day is Hamilton.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think they're gonna give it to Sergio Perez though.
No, they did. They
did. I didn't look at the result.
Yeah, he got 21% of the votes, but no, like the person who should have won was Hamilton. Really, to maintain his race pace. Yeah. You know,
the move that Hamilton take on Max in the first lap, it's mega. It's really mega. It's
Yeah.
like it feels like the old Hamilton is the actual Hamilton is back.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
he's willing to keep his elbow out and let Max know that, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, exactly. And Max has had it way too comfortable. Now again, Max had a great drive. Not going to take that away from him, But the reality is, like, dude, it's it's like I was commenting last season about George Russell. It's very easy to have a good drive when you're driving alone in clean air.
Yeah. You got all the space you can. You got all the airs you have.
Exactly.
You got all the clean airs you have. The car is eating good air.
Yeah, it's very easy to have a good drive when there's nobody around you. So it was nice to see Verstappen have a little bit of a challenge, even for a little bit today. To remind him to kind of stay honest. That, like, hey, dude, there's still people who can put you in your place from time to time.
Yeah. And from combine of Hamilton and Alonso, I mean, just Hamilton himself, 7 times, man, 7 times, and Alonso's like 2 times world champion.
Yeah.
So that's like total of 9 world championship right there.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Yeah, dude, exactly. I completely agree with you. He definitely thinks he is the new great white hope for Mercedes, and he's just not. He has not demonstrated the technical proficiency in driving. He hasn't shown that he can maintain the race pace. He hasn't shown that he's good on standing starts. He hasn't shown that he can really deal with like close wheel-to-wheel action
and stress,
and exactly the stress. Like,
and
it's just not there.
Yeah, you can tell the difference between Alonso, Hamilton, and George and Max, even Leclerc. All these drivers, you can tell who has the more experience. Alonso and Hamilton, of course, because they have more experience in the car, more experience in Formula One. They are here longer. They don't crack.
Dude.
They don't usually crack under pressure.
Look at Leclerc today, and look at Leclerc all of last season, right? He was considered to be the great white hope for Ferrari, and Sainz was always considered to be the number 2 driver for Ferrari, but Sainz has been the most consistent driver out of the two of them, and Leclerc has made the highest number of unforced errors, almost out of the entire grid.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, he is okay. This is a little extreme. He's not as bad as Latifi, but he is the closest thing to Latifi on the grid right
I
now.
miss Latifi. Latifi will miss this situation today, man.
Oh, dude, right? Oh my God! Imagine if Latifi was on the grid today. We may have seen like 6 red flags.
Yeah.
And Latifi would have finished the race in the points.
Oh, I miss him. I miss him.
Oh, Latifi, where are you, man?
Yeah, man, I feel like George is starting to get like even the commentary was saying yesterday. I think they actually say George Russell is the lead driver of Mercedes, which is
no way.
Yeah.
No, that's fantasy land. And truth be told, I don't think that Merck is having buyer's remorse. I think Bottas wanted to leave.
Yeah.
It was almost like a Daniel Ricciardo Verstappen situation where, like, Bottas felt like he was constantly going to be overshadowed by Hamilton. I don't know if Drive to Survive yeah, like I don't know if Drive to Survive kind of played that up a little bit, but it really did feel that like Bottas wanted to kind of strike it out on his own and kind of get out from under that shadow.
But
you know,
you know what happened, right? Once he's in Alfa Romeo, he's constantly overtaken by Zhou.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
I don't know what happened to him. I mean, he used to be when he was in Mercedes in the same car as Hamilton, used to be really consistent.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's I'm wondering if Bottas is having, remorse actually more than Mercedes, if I'm honest, But yeah, Albon absolutely paid tribute.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I miss him.
Latifi could single-handedly change an entire race outcome.
He's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT.
From last place, he could completely change the outcome.
He can completely change who wins the race.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was the most powerful driver on the grid, bar none.
I miss him. I really do.
Dude, I miss all of the Latifi memes. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah.
Like,
it's still fun to have him around, like in the grid.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, like, I wish there was a team that could field Latifi and wouldn't mind, like, basically losing their budget every season, like...
It's gonna be so stupid to do that, though.
Oh, it would just be throwing money down the drain, but... Oh, it was worth it for the entertainment value.
You know who would that be, though? Michael Massey's team. If he even get a team himself.
Dude, yeah, Michael Massey and Latifi teamed up like Voltron. Oh my god, they would totally fuck up the grid every chance they got.
And Max, of course, we cannot count Max out on this situation. No, for me, to be honest, Max is really good, like racing driver, but he's not that level yet of the greatest, the GOAT.
Yeah. No, definitely not. And I think a lot of people like to say it partially to get underneath like Hamilton fans' skin, because of course like the Team LH, crew are all diehards and like they're gonna react whenever you say something like that, right? But does Verstappen have the potential to be, one of the greatest drivers of like the modern era? Absolutely, but he needs a lot. Yeah, he needs a lot more experience and discipline to get there.
I mean, he's like what, 26 or 28 years old,
something like that. Yeah, he's still relatively young.
Got a lot of time to learn from. And for me, I would say he still got a lot of time to learn and to grow, but also learn from the greatness. There's two greatness behind you today. Agreed.
Yeah, and he definitely agreed. He doesn't have any humility whatsoever. But on some level, that's just because he's Dutch. I don't know how much experience you guys have with the Dutch, but they do not tend to be overly humble people.
They should just Verstappen.
yeah. Imagine having that guy as your dad. Jesus,
It's not gonna end well.
Now, Highway Star, like both Joe and I agree. The problem is like how long and how much is that going to take for them to get there, right?
It's like it's also getting all on us too. Like they keep on saying, "Oh, we are doing something. There's a performance gain. But on paper, in reality, we didn't see that much of performance gain except today.
Yeah.
But today is not like a mile performance gain. It's
no.
it's very small. But
It is,
Otto
relatively speaking.
all of the guys in Mercedes keep on saying, "Oh, we have gained a lot of performance on the car from
Yeah,
the upgrade."
but
To
it's
be
not.
honest, it's not.
You're still 10. You're still 10
Yeah.
to 12 seconds behind
Yeah.
Red Bull.
And
You
I'm
know?
still, we are still gonna suspect, or it's gonna take at least 1 year to close the gap.
Yeah,
Red Bull.
yeah, and that's assuming that Red Bull stays where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, which
that-
they're not.
And that's also assuming the Mercedes concept will work on track, not on
Yeah.
in wind tunnel and not in simulator.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard in some news part of the problem is that they were plugging in different hardware between simulator and the wind tunnel. So they were getting mismatches of data, which is like, if you're an engineer and you understand anything about engineering, that's a huge no-no. When you're dealing with variables, you don't change them willy-nilly, you know?
Because that will mix
I don't
up
know.
the data. But
Yeah.
I mean, they are the professional, for sure. You know, so just live into it.
Yeah. Dude, how do you feel about Massa being at the paddock this weekend? No comment, because I said what I really wanted to say, the police may come knocking at my door.
Yeah, and we're gonna be very brutal, and even like the reporter asked Hamilton about this question as well, exactly the same question, and then Hamilton's like, no comment.
Yeah, exactly. No, that guy should not be allowed to be anywhere near a Formula One race.
I think because I don't really get why he came back. If you guys can explain it to us.
Yeah.
Because I heard that he was here for GT race.
Most likely, yeah.
So, but again, that guy should not be even close to any car racing.
Yeah, agreed. You know, he should not be there under any good graces.
Yep.
Whatsoever. You know, that guy is a disgrace to the sport and to motorsports in general.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for him, you know, whatsoever. Genuinely.
He can. The door is over
he
there.
Can burn.
Yeah. The door is over there.
Exactly. Dude, honestly, like, you know, when you put that in context with what Ron Green says, you know, like there's some validity to like this whole thing, man.
This is
like,
awesome. This is awesome,
right?
This is awesome. This is exactly what we were thinking.
Yeah, man.
What a perfect team. What a perfect team, man.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you guys, I hope you guys keep showing up to our lives. Like, New Made, Ron Green, Four English. Is it Four English Lies? Or tell me how to pronounce your name. Like, you guys have phenomenal input, you know? Like, really. But it's true. I mean, like, I really, when you have these characters surrounding you, you know, like, you have Jos Verstappen, the abuser. You have Horner and Marco, like two of the shadiest people in motorsports, right? Nelson Piquet, who's, you know, got fined for essentially being an open racist, you know?
That's exactly what we want.
Like, you really are surrounding yourself with the best people, my dude. Like, come on.
Yep. And this Red Bull team.
Good, yeah.
Red Bull team is not Max Bull. It's Red Bull.
Yeah.
or Joe's Bull.
Yeah, man. No, it's ridiculous, but I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't put it past, some of the Red Bull internal people for trying to kind of
like, yeah,
hamper Perez.
It's very it's. I mean, I would say it's not. It's probably not true, but it's. I would still believe it's true because anything from Red Bull seems reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, Highway Star. The funny thing is, Michael Massey doesn't care for anybody's opinion, and he proved that in 2021 when he went completely off the books and literally broke the rules. So I mean, clearly he doesn't care about anybody else's opinion than his own. But then decided to cry victim when, all of a sudden he got all of these negative fan reactions. And it's like, bro, how can you sit here and essentially rig the outcome of a race and then cry victim? And we're not just talking about like an autocross race or some low level, BS weekender motorsports. We're talking about Formula One. The premier motorsports of the globe.
Yep.
Yep.
And just screw the race like that. Just on your fingertip.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Essentially hand over the championship. That's exactly that's exactly what we were talking about. If you guys
we covered this in one of our videos. Yeah.
We actually read the whole voice
the exchange
commentary
over the radios.
Yeah.
He literally repeated back what Red Bull told him,
Total
was the case. Yeah, exactly.
And then he actually said, Total, this is motor racing. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, exactly. The real, that is the real tragedy for Max, is that he was born into that situation.
Yeah.
He didn't really have a choice, like.
I give him, but he take the advantage of that situation. So give him prop on that.
Exactly. Like he was born into a tough situation. He rode it all the way to the top, and I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine how he functions in the real world, to be 100% honest with you, but, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's sad. Like, I don't like to dwell on 2021 anymore because it is so long ago. But it's the fact that it still hangs in everybody's head says something about its significance.
It says everything. The fact that situation still reminds us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Michael Massey. There's something that is not right there.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, me and Sharif are not in the same place, even though we are all drinking Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's the funny part. We're like 600 miles away from one another, and we both happen to get Taco Bell for dinner. What are the chances? But yeah, man. What about you guys? What was your impression of the chaos today in the race? Did it turn out the way you guys expected? Did was the outcome satisfying to you? I'm very curious.
To me, the outcome is pretty good on my side because we see the performance. We can relate. We can see in the future of what Mercedes can bring, and of course, Alonso is he still have it. So
Mhm.
it's good to see Alonso and Hamilton and Max battle it out.
Dude, my dream for this season really would be for Alonso, Verstappen, Hamilton to absolutely
Go out.
battle the like all the way through the rest of the season. I'm talking wheel to wheel, elbows
Hard
out,
racing.
hard racing. Yeah.
It will be so fun to watch, and it will probably get Max very. He might crack under pressure,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's Hamilton and Alonso. It's not Hamilton by himself anymore. It's Alonso, and
Yeah.
Alonso can get very, nitty gritty.
Dude, Alonso, like Hamilton is a patient, almost like viper. He will wait for the right moment to strike, and his strike is devastating. But Alonso's different. Alonso plays mind games.
Yeah,
you know.
Alonso
And
is like this.
Yeah. Yeah, he will sit there and needle you and twist you and just completely throw you off your game in the most like fucked up way, and then he'll strike right when you're at your weakest.
Yeah, and for Hamilton, you say it perfectly. He's so patient.
Yes.
He can be very patient, and he can even says, "Okay, I'm not gonna fight today. I will fight another day." Patient.
yeah, exactly.
But when he has that
Hamilton
chance,
can keep that pressure on you, consistently and heavily. Yeah. And the second you make the slightest mistake, he strikes. Yeah, 100%.
So I like I said before, like I feel like Max is a good driver. He's a fast driver, of course, for sure. But he can still learn a lot from these two greatness.
Oh yeah,
exactly. They are still on the grid.
Yeah, no, truthfully,
I think he should. I think he should if he wants to reach that level of quickness and.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing, because he doesn't have those kind of strategies in his toolbox. Yeah. It's just go harder, go faster, go more to the ragged edge. That's it. Whereas like these guys will really like they'll play games with you. They'll put pressure on you, and they'll create those moments.
It's like they are playing chess.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They are chess players.
Yeah.
And Verstappen he just isn't, quite simply. Yeah. Now, as far as like today's race, I agree, ATK. I would have absolutely preferred to see a racing finish, even if it was for one lap. But that little parade lap business they did.
It's stupid.
Why? And people are weaving their cars, building, heat up in the tires. Why?
Me and Shifu were talking. I'm like, are they gonna go back racing? It doesn't seem to be they're gonna go back racing because it's lap 58, and then you can't go lap 59 out of 58. It's not by the book.
Agreed. It really was the last red flag. Just. Again, Joe said it earlier. I understand why they did it. They didn't want a repeat of 2021, but at the same time, like, either, wave the red flag, say the race is done, or give us one last, like, flying lap, and that's it,
But
I don't know.
I don't know how they can handle this situation differently if the rule is there. So that is where I wanted to touch this up on this. That the rules needs to be changed a little bit to handle this type of situation, because we have seen this so many times where either it's a Monza last season or of course 2021 or something else. I don't remember. Is there any other
I can't remember
situation
back
like
to like
this?
2020.
Yeah. I remember 2020 has one big accident, which is not the track is not on the calendar anymore. it was replacing. It was substitute in by for Monza. It was Tucson, I think. Italy Tucson, or I don't remember, but it was red flag after red flag after red flag. So it was bad. But ultimately they finish the race on the racing because the red flag is not in the closing stage of the race. Yeah. But again, we can see that the rules are not written perfectly.
Right.
So
Exactly.
this type of situation happened. So I feel like there's got to be a rule specifically for this type of situation where if it's red flag in the last closing stage of the race.
Well, and that's what ATK is saying, that maybe they should adopt NASCAR's overtime rules. I don't know what the overtime rules are for NASCAR, but I'd be very curious to see what they were.
Or just just add an extra 1 lap of shootout.
Right.
Lap.
Yeah, exactly. Because Newmaid makes a great point that Hulkenberg's Haas almost didn't make it.
Yeah, because the fuel. The fuel.
Right. Exactly. And that affects the outcome of the race. To give him the position where that he got without taking that into consideration is a big thing. You know what I mean? So, like, definitely at least 1 or 2 laps at the end. I think would have.
It's like NBA's overtime, basically. Where you finish and you tie on point. Overtime comes 5 minutes. Finishing up.
Do maybe 60 laps out of 58. Something like that.
Just add a few more miles on the lap, on the race itself.
Yeah. Now this is really interesting, definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely think that there is an opportunity for like really broad and creative thinking, like Highway Star. I can tell you, for example, like I used to be involved in drone racing, and it was fascinating to watch because you would see the problem solving of children at extremely high levels, actually. And so in drone racing, the most talented pilots were usually very young. We're talking like 10, 11, 12 years old. They could easily outpace somebody who was even 16, 18, 20s, 30s. And it was just, the brain had a different way of processing data, and it wasn't even that they were necessarily geniuses. It's just how they fundamentally like looked at things differently. So if you really had a child genius who understood physics, who understood engineering, this is not something that I can readily argue against, honestly.
But again, it's Mercedes that you are talking about, so I don't. Like Mercedes is what, from German? You know how German people act.
Exactly. It's so funny because
I hate to say it, but that's the truth. Because both me and Sherm have encountered some German.
Dude, my neighbor next door, she's an old German lady, and it's so funny because she's a Formula One fan.
Oh, really?
And so so we were talking about it, and I was like, oh man, I really wish that Mercedes would turn up the power on the engine and be damned with reliability. They need the speed at this stage. And you know what her response was?
What did she say?
She's like, but we're German. And I was like, what do you mean we're German? She said, oh, we always think about reliability. We always think about, being a little bit conservative, And I'm like, but that's the problem. Stop being so German. You know?
See, that's
This is
exactly
a race.
that's
you know?
exactly what we were talking about. Like we were
Yeah.
saying, Mercedes needs to take risk,
Yes.
and we were
They're in a place where they need to take risks right now.
we were during the race, the end of the race. Me and Sheriff were talking. Like we were saying, today's outcome. I'm happy for Mercedes have that engine blow up.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
because if that's where the risk is. They
Yeah.
tune up the engine, they let the engine run to see how it performs against reliability issues. So, but then of course the engine bloated. But from that they can see, using that data they can tune the engine. They can
Yes.
do something minor change on the engine. That's
Yeah.
where taking risk is, you know.
Yeah, 100% agreed. And they really need to be running that engine more aggressively than
Yeah.
they have been.
And,
Because
I mean,
look
that's
at the result today.
Yeah, and that's what Ripple are doing, running the engine more
Yeah,
aggressive. And
Oh,
that's
no
what
question.
Ferraris are doing, running the engine more aggressive, but their strategy is whatever.
no, we're not making a big deal about it as a negative. We're actually even celebrating
Yeah,
that it
yeah,
happened, because typically Mercedes runs, if there's a spectrum, right? And Joe was saying this earlier in the stream. If this is reliability and this is running the engine to the ragged edge, they are always biased towards reliability. And what we're saying is, in order to keep up with the pace of the Red Bull, they need to push closer to the ragged edge of the engine, right? Because the rest of the package still needs so much work. It's the only way to bridge the gap, you know? So we're not getting on Mercedes' case for blowing the engine. If anything, we're saying,
actually happy.
yes,
Yeah,
good, push
We
the
actually-
engines.
we're actually happy
You
to
know?
see they take risk, like we said before.
Yeah. No, it's all good, man. We're all about including you guys in the dialogue. That's why I highlighted it, my dude. We want you guys to comment and be part of the stream and the discussion. You know, we thrive off of your comments, honestly. And agreed. You know,
Yeah.
for English, like they absolutely are way more worried about aero than anything, because their aero package is just,
It's not there.
you know, like,
It's a
I hate
draggy
to say
car.
it.
It's a draggy car. That's it.
Yeah. It's draggy, it's unbalanced. Yes, they've solved the porpoising, but at the cost of drag, and you know, and they lost a bit of the rear end, you know, and so they really were hoping, fingers crossed, by Imola, that they will have some new upgrades to
But like,
you know, be more competitive. You
I
know,
have no doubt that they will come back. It's just time. It's gonna take
Yeah.
a while, because it's not
Exactly.
like we keep on saying it again and again. You change your aero package, you change your side pod, you change your whole car, and you might
Yeah.
even have to change the engine. I mean, I don't think they can change the engine.
no, they're not
because
going to
this
change the
yeah,
engine,
but around the engine, you know, suspension,
everything.
Yeah,
yeah, the entire package, you know, like, and that's the reality. Like, as much as I'd love to blame the side pods alone, you know, all of the aero analysts and experts have been saying that just slapping on side pods is not going to
Not
fix
gonna
the issue. If anything, actually, it may make the car run slower.
Yeah.
You know, because there's nothing else to complement that design in total. You know,
it's
they
have to
so-
change the whole concept of the car if they wanted to
Yeah.
change your car.
yeah, we're literally
From-
looking,
Grown up.
at more of a W15, you know, than a W14. yeah, literally, you know. So We'll see, though, man. I mean, today was a good day for Mercedes.
It was.
Even
It
though
was.
Russell DNF'd, I still
But
think that the result was very favorable.
like
right?
I see this thing as like a grand bigger picture, right? Like
Yes.
they test a car, they test the engine, they tune up the
Mhm.
engine, power up the engine, let the engine run to see how it goes. And
Yep.
if the engine runs well, of course, one of the car's engine runs really well, which is on Hamilton. But
Yeah.
Russell's car doesn't run really well, and it exploded.
Yeah.
So they got two datas to tune, and
Yeah.
they got some space to performance, reliability, performance
Yeah.
and reliability to it back and forth. That's where you can get pace. And I'm happy in the grand of things. It's they are taking risks. They are taking the right direction, at least for now, to see where the performance can have.
Yeah. 100%. I do think that this was the best outcome that we could have expected.
Yeah.
To see Hamilton on the podium, especially second place, was something to celebrate. He showed to everybody, that he really still has it, and that he is still a force to be reckoned with, even with a car that he is not comfortable with, even with a car that he is unhappy with.
Again, even with the car that he's unhappy with, but he can still perform on that car.
Exactly.
So that tells you a lot. Not everything, but a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, fellas. I think the two of us are gonna call it. It is currently just after 2 o'clock in the morning for us.
Oh my!
Yes,
that's
here on the West Coast.
Exactly what I expected from yesterday. I was telling my roommates that I'm gonna go sleep around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
What time it is?
So we want to thank you guys for joining us. Please, if you guys are new here to the channel, if you had fun tonight chatting with us, don't forget to hit the subscribe, button and hit the notification. I hate asking for it. I hate doing all the YouTube shill BS, but it really does help the channel grow and get us out there a little bit. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we already have some giveaway stuff.
We already bought some giveaway for you guys, and
yeah,
it's been a while. It's there.
yeah, it's very true. Man, God bless your heart staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning, my dude.
You win.
Yeah, you absolutely win.
At least we don't have to wake up like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
Watch the race.
That's very true. But man, no, we appreciate every single one of you guys. We had fun chatting with you. We hope you guys will join us again in the future. And on that note, peace, you guys. Or peace. Yeah, no, not this, but yeah, this. All the best, guys. Thank you again. Appreciate it.